Reminder out there, if you are tuning in and your name is not in your handle, then do put your name in the message that you send us and specify whether you want a long-term view or a short-term view on the counter that you're asking for. I don't think that we're live yet on some of the social media platforms, but let me go across, Kunal, for a very quick view on the Nifty 50. We're at an all-time high right now, so 30-second view on the Nifty 50.
Breakout has finally happened. 2,700 to 900 was the range, and finally the breakout has happened for the index today. This could be a very strong breakout in the making, and with the potential consolidation which the markets have gone through in the last 3 weeks, I think that could probably result into at least another 2 or 3 weeks of the upside for the index. So 15,900, the level is quite important, and if we hold on to this level today by closing, and if we gain a bit more, then I believe that the possibility of the Nifty scaling up another 250 to 300 points on the upside could be very, very high.
Okay, this is a counter, Kunal, that was in focus at the start of the pandemic when we had this announcement about vaccines. This is Snowman Logistics. Considering that quite a few of these vaccines would require cold storage facilities, we've got Swayam Chopra, who's got 1,000 shares of Snowman at levels of 54.85, and he's asking what he should do for a year's time. Should he hold on for this duration?
Happened, Alex, is that from the logistics space, the likes of Aegis Logistics, Gati, etc. These are the stocks which have moved up higher. Gati, Snowman somehow has remained in a consolidation. The stock has underperformed, many of its other peers in the last, 3-4 months specifically. But then, when the entire many of the stocks from the peer group, they tend to move up higher, and the lone stock underperform. It's a matter of time that the stock plays a catch up. Now, if your buy price is closer to 54 odd levels and the stock is also trading closer to those kind of levels, I believe that you should look to hold on to the investments over here and give it more time, because if the sector keeps on doing pretty well, it's a matter of time that even Snowman Logistics could probably break out on the upside. So I would suggest a hold on Snowman, looking at the short-term charts as well as the underperformance, which I believe could be caught up into with its peers pretty soon.
Okay, this one is coming in from Sumit, and also I will club in Pragya's also query into this. Sumit is saying, can I make a fresh entry into Polycab? He's also asking about Happiest Mind rally. He's bought it around 600 rupees per share. He wants to know, is the rally sustainable in Happiest Minds? And Pragya is also asking, what sort of a target should one keep for Happiest Minds over the shorter term of 2 years? Kunal, both of these queries for you.
So I'll start off with Happiest Minds. The stock has done exceptionally well from being a stock which was just around 400 rupees, 350 odd rupees start of this year, to a stock which is now at 1400 rupees. So did exceptionally well in that kind of a time span. It looks attractive, from a medium term view, even though the chart history is a bit limited for me to really focus on the long term basis, but it looks attractive, and I believe any kind of dips should be taken as good buying opportunities. If you've already bought at 600 rupees, you've built in a buffer for yourself. So I would suggest that you hold on to it rather than looking at this more as a short term play. Look at this more as a long term play, because such kind of breakouts, they tend to channel stocks into a new multi-year uptrend. So let's see how the chart evolves for Happiest Mind going forward. Polycab, on the other hand, I think this stock as well has been a very strong price gainer since the last 1.5 odd year. I think if I'm not wrong, the stock at current levels is also placed closer to that 1900 or 2000 odd mark. It hit at 2000 mark, I think, just about some time back. But now what's actually happening for Polycab is the indicators have got back into an over territory. So the monthly RSI, for example, for Polycab is trading at almost 88, 89 levels. So that means it's an extremely overstretched kind of a rally. So even though the stock history has been phenomenal over the last 14-15 months, but purely based on the fact that the indicators are overbought, I would expect some cool off happening in Polycab. And if you can try and take opportunity of that cool off, maybe a 10% to 15% correction from current levels, I think that should be a good opportunity for you to start averaging.
Okay, let's talk about Reliance Industries, and we've got the 52-week high at levels of 2,368. But since that level, it's cooled off just a bit. It's trading at 2,083. We've got Neeraj, who's bought 300 shares at slightly elevated levels, Ashish, levels of 2,200. He's got a perspective of about 2 years. He's been holding for about a year. He's saying it's not going anywhere. Should he have the patience to hold on to this particular stock? Should it be a part of your portfolio, notwithstanding the kind of move it's had over the last few months?
Yes, I agree. For last couple of months, stock has not moved. Again, the reason is that whatever the triggers were there, they are all priced in. Whatever the fundraise was there for the Geo platform, etc., which has given very good rally in the stock, is already captured in. So now no big material developments are going to happen in Reliance Industry per se. But still, in my view, as the crude prices are going up, their refining margin will do well. Their petchem business is also showing very good traction. All expansions are over. So, as far as their quarterly numbers are concerned, again, this quarter also we are going to see good set of numbers. So, my suggestion will be, as you have bought a stock at 2,200 level, at 2,070 levels, you should try to average this stock, because near their quarterly numbers, I am expecting again you will see a rally, and you may get an exit at 2150 at least. So my suggestion will be to average Reliance Industries at this.
Okay, this one is coming in from Giant. He's bought 500 shares of RBL Bank at around 250 rupees per share. He wants to know how are the charts looking for RBL Bank? Any scope of further up move coming in on this counter? Kunal, RBL Bank is definitely under pressure today on back of news flow on the MasterCard issue. But how are the charts looking for RBL Bank? Any scope of further upside?
Chart, frankly, on the medium-term time scale, over the last 2 years, 3 years, yes, the stock has underperformed from 700 levels to at one point of time the stock just about hitting those 100 levels as well. But it's trying to recuperate. It's trying to recover from those kind of sharp corrections. The recovery on the trend, on the indicator trends, have been far more stronger for RBL Bank, and which is why I believe that prices that generally tend to match up the speed or the pace of the indicators, and if the indicators are showing some robust actions over the longer term time scale charts, prices also tend to reciprocate the same. So I believe purely on that aspect, I believe RBL Bank could be a stock which can break out of that 250 big resistance and then start a strong uptrend for itself. But it may take some bit of more time because the entire Bank Nifty is still going through some bit of pressure points. So if those pressure points are released, then I believe the mid-cap banking space could also try and outperform. RBL Bank, I believe, should be held on to from current levels, and I think the breakout happens above those 250 levels. We could be looking at a very strong upside for the stock, maybe a 25 to 30% upside. Post that as well, could be a very high probability trade.
Okay, Sunita, I just want to point out that your stocks that you picked are a little bit difficult to get a view on. If you can choose a slightly larger small cap company, or even mid cap or a large cap company, and we can get you views. We've got a question from Rajan that is quite interesting, Kunal, and he's asking, does the Edelweiss chart support a buy for the next 6 to 12 months, or would you rather pick one of the private sector banks?
Play, because both of these both part of the questions look very attractive to me. So first, on Edelweiss chart, I've been recommending this stock on the channel since the last one and a half odd week, when the stock was at 77-80 odd zone, expecting the breakout to happen till at least 105 odd levels. So the stock managed to hit those levels of 100 yesterday, and now I believe that the stock would consolidate for some more time. The volumes have picked up significantly higher for Edelweiss in this month itself. I think it's one of the best volumes in the last 4 months for the stock. That itself tells you that the stock is breaking past about those resistances with a lot of fervor, which means that it's an evolving chart. But then trying to compare Edelweiss chart with respect to private sector banks, of course, is no match. The private sector banks, should be a separate part of your consideration. And I believe if that's the case, then you can look at much more better prospects on private sector banks. So, there are different qualities of private sector banks which are, visible. So ICICI Bank, for example, is one of the most stronger names, most solid have to be part of your longer term core portfolio. HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank, they're underperforming as of now, but I believe sooner than later, these stocks will also try and play a catch up. We discussed few names like RBL Bank, etc. Even these stocks look attractive. So both these stocks, both parts of the questions, I would agree with. Edelweiss looks attractive on the medium-term timescale chart, but the stock may now consolidate for some more time. But private sector banks is where I believe that much stronger upside could be seen over the near to medium term.
Is from Prasanta Ray saying that he is holding a GICRE, that is General Insurance Corporation of India. From the allotment time, it is on a higher price. Is it worth to average at current price is what he's asking. Kunal, what's your take coming on GICRE?
So, I've been tracking this stock earlier when the stock, used to be trading in this range of 220, 240. I think if I'm not wrong, that was almost 3-4 months back. Somehow the stock has lost its way. It's consolidated. The volumes have dropped down significantly for GICRE, and the stock has remained in this range of 175 to 185 as the lower end of the range and closer to 200 to 10 as the higher end of the range. I would probably expect that if you're looking to buy these kind of mid-cap names, wait for a momentum break, and only then you need to participate on the stocks on the way up, because these are the stocks which can give you like 10, 15%, 20% in a matter of short span of time. So rather than capitalizing and waiting on the opportunity for 3, 4, 5 months, I would sense that wait for the stocks to break out of their resistances and then try and participate for a quick uptake. So would suggest a buy on GICRE if the stock breaks only about that 210 mark.
Okay, we've got a few interesting questions coming in, but I think this is one that we will take right now. Sundaresan is asking about Ujjivan Financial Services, and Ashish, this is a counter that was in focus of late on account of the latest update from the Reserve Bank of India. He's holding 200 shares at levels of 235. Should he hold on for the medium term?
I'll advise to remain invested for medium term. As far as the developments are concerned, I think those are already priced in because the stock has moved in from 200 to 240 rupees. But still, there's a lot of value in the stock because earlier it used to trade over 300 rupees if you see 52 week high, and still the stock is at 240. So, in fact, if you even get this stock at some decline, say 225 to 230, I'll advise to even average and keep on holding this stock. It has to touch 300 rupees in the next 6 to 9 months for sure.
Is from Sagar, and an interesting one. He is asking why stocks like CDSL and CAMS don't go into the current into a correction phase. He is asking that he's saying that he gets it as a monopolistic business, but still correction is needed, or is it because of too much of buying from MF houses and FII, or is it because of low float? Kunal, would you like to take this particular query that Sagar is asking about CDSL and CAMS? Why is it that these stocks don't tend to go into a correction phase?
Very difficult to answer that, Cheryl, that why these stocks they don't go into a corrective phase. The logical answer for that, of course, is the demand chasing the stock. Many participants chasing the stock. Now they could be a mix of institutional players, FIIs, domestic guys. It's very difficult to try and bifurcate those kind of details. But then this tells you one very distinct feature of market as well, that we are talking of a time when the last 1.5 or 2 months the indices have lost its trend. There is no major trend which is getting picked up on the indices. Momentum is amiss on the indices. But at those point of time, many of these mid cap names, they are continuing to chase up, being chased up by the market participants, and you see a consistent up move into these names. Volumes being very strong into these kind of stocks. So that itself tells you that the markets are ready to buy these stocks even at a much higher level. And typically investors, they keep on playing that waiting game, that when would the stock come back into the comfortable range, when will the correction happen. So I am always of the belief that you can never buy at a perfect price, but you tend to arrive at a reasonably good price compared for your investments. And if you're comfortable with buying stocks, say for example CDSL or CAMS, then you can start at current levels, and then let's hope along the way, if you get some sort of a correction, then you can take opportunity of those corrections to try and average further.
Okay, gentlemen, we're making amazing progress. We've taken quite a few questions already, but unfortunately today we're short of time. So I'm going to remind you to keep your answers as short as you possibly can while still remaining cogent in your answers. KR Balan has got a question on Asian Granite, which he bought about a month back. He's making 7 to 8% profit and he's asking whether it's worth shifting. I believe since it's a short-term query, I'm going to come to you, Kunal, on this one. Would you switch from Asian Granite?
I would suggest a switch from Asian Granite, get back into the thick of large cap names. There are plenty more stocks in the large caps or quality mid cap names, so I would suggest a switch. And from a completely different sector, I would recommend something on from the mid cap side, and that's Havells at 1040 odd levels. I think the stock can see a potential upside of at least another 8 to 10% over the very near term. So I would suggest a switch.
Okay, this one is from Bharat Makija. He has Whirlpool India. He's bought them at 2,468 rupees per share. He wants to add some more over the longer term, but he wants to know, does it make sense to continue to hold on to Whirlpool? What's your take, Ashish, coming in on Whirlpool?
Yes, I'll advise to remain invested in Whirlpool again because this time it was extended summer, so sale is gradually picking up in northern, particularly part of the country, and as this time there's good monsoon also, so rural India will keep on driving growth of fast-moving electronic goods, particularly. So my suggestion will be to remain invested. Though stock has appreciated quite a bit in last 1 year, but again a blue chip company will continue to do well. So my advice will be to remain invested.
Ashish, coming back to you on this next one, we've got Snehashish who's got Indiabulls Housing Finance 100 shares at levels of 278, asking whether he should hold on at this point. Stock is about 10 rupees lower than his buy price. Or would you switch to something like a JM Financial?
Yeah, in fact, that will be a good move because again, Indiabulls Housing Finance has given very good rally, but compared to that, GM Finance, which is again having almost all the products in financial services space, has not performed that well. So at 100 rupees, you can't go wrong in GM Financial. My suggestion will be to swap Indiabulls with GM Financial.
Okay, this one is from Soumitra. He wants to know, does Kunal have any view on HDFC? Can it be bought at current levels?
I think HDFC is a top quality stock. It depends on your time frame. So if you're in from a longer term view, I think you should try and take opportunity of these, silent periods of consolidation where the stock, there is no news flow, no events which tend to hamper the stock. And I think those are the kind of best opportunities where you can look to average. Even if it's from a short term view, for example, now I was just looking at the charts for HDFC some time back. The stock is forming a classical rectangular pattern formation of consolidation. So the stock has been in this 100-point band, 2440, 2450 on the downside, and I think 2540, 2550 on the upside. So this 100-point consolidation for HDFC Limited, I think, is a good consolidation, and the stock seems to have broken out of this consolidation today. So I would sense that it's a good stock to hold on from, specific from a long-term view. But yes, even if you are looking to play from a short-term play, then I think at least another potential 75 to 100 point on the upside could be something which you can look at as a profitable trade.
Kunal, back to you on this next one. Muthoot Finance, clearly in focus of late because apparently gold loans are going up in terms of disbursements. At current market price, though, Sanjay is asking, would you buy for 6 months?
I would suggest a buy for Muthoot Finance. I think it's been an excellent chart, done exceptionally well. The last 2 months have been phenomenal for Muthoot Finance compared to Manappuram Finance as well. But then I think if it's better that if you try and bifurcate maybe 75% of your expected quantity into Muthoot Finance, and then the remaining 25-30% odd on Manappuram Finance as well. It's been an underperformer, but I believe that Manappuram Finance is also evolving as a very good chart on the near to medium term time scale. So if you can try and take opportunity of both of them, that would be a good strategy, especially in cashing on the rise in gold prices.
All right, with that we'll come to the end of the queries segment. But Kunal, what are your high risk and low risk ideas for the viewers today?
So I would suggest a couple of buy calls. Havells was the stock which I just discussed earlier. Looks very attractive to me on the charts. Heading towards a swing breakout. With the stock showing those classical patterns on the charts. So I would suggest a buy with 1085 to 1100 as a target range from a very near-term view, and stop loss could be kept at 1020. The second would be a buy on HDFC. I think this stock as well, which we discussed earlier, heading towards a triple top pattern breakout. Something which is very rare to see, but something which has more potential. On the upside. So which is one HDFC Limited as well. Targets of 2650, stop loss at 2500.
Ashish, coming to you on your high risk and low risk ideas. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, I've got selected two small cap ideas because in my view, the large cap stocks are pretty expensive now. So time to look at the small cap stock. My first idea is Karda Construction Limited. As now reality index, if you see, is almost at 10-year high. So there's a good time to look at quality stocks in this space, which are yet to catch up. And Karda Construction is again a company which is based out of Nashik with 30 projects which are ongoing. So the last quarterly numbers are also very good, where net profit went up by almost 240%, and for full year net profit was just double, and that too in such a tough. So, but now as the sales traction is again picking up, I think they will continue to decent growth, and I'm expecting a 50% kind of CAGR growth in next 3 years. And on top of it, company has announced a bonus issue also, where on every 1 share you hold, you are going to get 4 shares. So this is a good stock to add in your portfolio with a price target of 250. Another idea which I like, low risk, low return, is a company from sugar where we don't talk too much. But recently, again, they were on your channel and given a very good view about the future prospects. It's called Vishwaraj Sugar Limited. Their current price is around 140. I am advising this for a 6-month time frame for 180 to 200 rupees. Again, a fully integrated sugar player. They are having sugar, power, ethanol, and vinegar, what they make. Again, they are going for an expansion where they are going to increase their capacity of sugar mill. So from 11,000 ton, they are going to almost double their capacity. And there's where this yield, which is there for sugar cane, they are getting those. So I think they are going through the exciting time with all marquee clients in hand, and with very small equity of just 37 crore. This is again a stock to watch for 180 to 200 in the next 6 months.
All right, that's the high risk, low risk ideas coming in from Kunal as well as Ashish. On that note, thank you gentlemen for joining us on the show. We'll take a break, but once we come back from the break, we will get you the L&T Tech Management. That particular counter is at record high levels, up over 15% in trade. So stay tuned for the management interaction after the break.
You can touch it. ये वायरस से बिल्कुल सेफ है।
मतलब?
सारा फर्नीचर सिर्फ सेंचुरी लैमिनेट्स और प्लाईवुड से बना है। इन दोनों में है वायरोकिल टेक्नोलॉजी, जिसके एक्टिवेटेड नैनो पार्टिकल्स वायरस को मार गिराते हैं। सेंचुरी लैमिनेट्स और सेंचुरी प्लाई, रहो बेफिक्र।
Investment-friendly policies, incentives and single window clearance system has made Uttar Pradesh most favorable destination for investors. Under the able guidance of CM Yogi Adityanath, Government of Uttar Pradesh is making sustained efforts to promote investment in state. In last 4 years, more than 4.50 lakh crore has been invested in the state, giving jobs to over 1.5 crore.
I feel so proud to be living in Uttar Pradesh with so much investment coming into the state. It will open new avenues of job creation and opportunities.
New industries are exempted from labor laws for 1,000 days. 21 new